back. I'm here. All right, so here we are. Live stream has begun. I'm just going to make sure that my laptop's volume is muted so we don't hear anything. Let's refresh the laptop screen and here we go. Oh, and I'm going to rotate the screen. Give me one moment. Here we go. 1 second. There, that's better. It's on the cell phone. So anyway, welcome to my 500 subscriber live stream for Sean's Model Builds. Thanks very much for giving me 500 subscribers. I think we're up to 509 by now, according to the screen. And before early July of 2021, this channel was not very focused. I didn't have a focus for the channel. I'd put travel videos on there. I'd put a few model building videos from 2018 onward, but I hadn't actually given it a niche. And then I realized, you know, I've done model building videos for 3.5 years, from the beginning of 18 all the way up to mid-July of 2021. So I figured I would give it a complete focus on model building. So that's what I did. I'm just going to thank you for the 1 like on the chat already. Yeah, no feedback. No feedback on the computer. That's good. Now I know the chat is showing up this way, but watch what happens when I try to rotate the screen again. Watch what happens. So I go that way. You see? And that's why the phone has to do it in shorts mode. Like so. All right, so I might as well. I think the phone cord is long enough when it's plugged in. I can show you the thing. Let me just make sure that I'm hearing it on the computer. One moment. Good. Good, so it's working. All right, so I'll show you around the model room to start with. So you can see here the model shelves of the models I've done so far, like the TOS Enterprise. That was the first one I did back in 2018. I did this space shuttle, I believe it's the Columbia. Give me one moment here. Let me set the camera down. I'll bring the models to the table. It's easier that way you can handle those 2 hands. Here you go. See, Space Shuttle Columbia, and it has the opening hatches where you can put the apparatus inside the cargo bay. I had to space out the sticker letters because according to what I'd seen online, Columbias were not as close together as Enterprise. And you can see how the name is on the cargo bay doors and not the near the cockpit like it was in the later versions. And you can see the here's the Canadarm. You can see that there, Canada with the red flag and everything, and a little satellite thing. So let's see what if I can show you the models in order. So let me take the phone off the. It should be able to stretch from the stand enough. Let's see how this goes here. How close can we get? Because it's charging. You don't want it to run out of charge during the live stream. 1 second. There. Okay, so here is the TOS Enterprise. It's been autographed by William Shatner. That was the first model I did in early 2018. A friend gave it to me in September of 17. And I decided to repaint it to make it look more accurate. And then, because it had been 25 years since I had first built a model, with the help of my stepdad, I painted it silver. for silver anniversary of getting into model building, and that was model number 1. Now to get to model number 2, the Sovereign class. It's behind the poster. This is my next generation poster that I've had since the early 90s, and you can see I now have 3 signatures on it. Gates McFadden as Dr. Crusher, Marina Sirtis, Deanna Troy, and Brent Spiner as Data. And if you look back there, you will be able to see the Enterprise E. And that is what I did for model number 2. I restored the Enterprise E. So let's see if we can get these space shuttles, these die-cast space shuttles out of the way, and you can get a closer look. In fact, here we go. Now it is long enough. There you go. See? So what I did is I painted it with the Folk-Art Silver Anniversary paint to make sure that it would stay, it was even. And I had to do it around the escape pods. Let me put it down here for a moment. Just make sure it stays upright. One-handed. Actually, I have a better idea. Give me one moment. Let's put the cell phone on the stand again. 1 second. Oop, wait a minute. Turn it around the other way. Give me 1 minute. There we go. Okay, good. Now, what you do is you put it on the chair, like so, pointing it down. Well, okay, now I can bring the model up. So you see, there we go. You can see the model now. I had to give it a new registry number. And the Enterprise name was missing when I first got it. That's what prompted me to get new decals from Federation Models. And I carefully just painted the silver anniversary around the existing escape pods. Those are the only old decals I kept. I painted the phasers like an antique gold. I painted in the impulse engines and the nacelle grills and the nacelle strut grills, etc. And the navigation lights, so port and starboard. And I also did it on the saucer, so there's starboard, there is port, and there is the bow light right there. Yeah, so that's the Enterprise E, and what I did, I used the Krylon chrome on the stand, and I painted in, like I just labeled which ship it was. So that's the Enterprise E. That was model number 2. So we might as well go through the models chronologically, and that'll be the best way. So model number 3. Now, let me think for a minute. What was model number 3? Well, there's an easy way to tell, actually. If we look at my computer here. All right, there we go. Computer. So I'm going to take it off my YouTube channel for the time being. Like, just minimize the window. Go to Dropbox for a moment. And that should show me what model number... here we go. Model number 3. The Enterprise D in 2500 scale. Now, I know this is what happens when my computer gets a bit full. But there's only so much I can do. All right. There was the old 2500 scale Enterprise D in, as it looked from 1994 to 2014. It lost its nacelle. Now, its nacelle was not destroyed. It was just detached. And you can see the model here as I restored it. So I gave it new decals from Federation Models. That's where I learned the hard way keep the decals separated when you apply them and then only fill in the gaps afterwards. And some of them silvered because I had repainted it by hand. I hadn't learned how to spray paint yet. And that nacelle has since had its nacelle has since detached, so I had to take some steps there to fix it. So let's take a look at the ship itself. Give me one moment here. Gotta move Voyager. See if I can extract the ship. Here we go. This is good having the cell phone in portrait mode so I can see what I'm looking at. Let me just shift things a little bit here. Yeah, here we are. All right, so here's how the ship looks now. What I had to do is I had to add some damaged decals to cover up the silvering. And you can see where the nacelle has broken off. And there's the nacelle there. And it didn't break off cleanly at the nacelle joint to the strut. It broke off where in the middle of the strut itself. So that's going to require some creative thinking to fix. And wherever there was a decal silvering, I did the damaged decal to cover it up. So that's what I also had to do on the secondary hull here and on the saucer itself. So it's a battle damaged version of the Enterprise D. But that was model number 3. And what I did is the 1000 scale TOS Enterprise, it came with a spare stand. So I was able to shave down the stand enough that it would fit into the slot of the Enterprise D, which came with the old stand from 1988. See? There you go. So that's model number 3. So now we go on to model number 4. But before I do that, I might as well show you the actual models on the display shelves. As in the models I have yet to build. That would be more accurate. So give me one moment to move a couple of posters. I'm going to plug the phone back in since we're back on the table. So let me move a couple posters here. There. Now, in some of the older model kits, you get a print of the Enterprise A. There you go. No window glare that way. See? Well, that's good. And it has Captain Kirk on it. All right, so let's take a look at the model shelf. I don't think I'm able to actually rotate the screen around while we're in it, so let me get back far enough. Get the cord on top of the so it stretches a bit more. Here you go, see? So this is the Star Trek shelf. So you have, the K7, the original Kronos 1, that was just called the Cruiser. 2 Franklins, so I left one in its wrapping in case anyone wants one. Try Facebook Marketplace, I think or maybe I'll sell it on eBay. The original, and I managed to, with all the extra decals and parts, I managed to get it back in its 50th anniversary sleeve, the TOS Enterprise. The older Enterprise C, which will go with the newer one, so you can do one battle damage, one not. Sovereign, the 7-ship Enterprise set. Now that's a unique diversion. What happened with the 7-ship Enterprise set is it actually contributed to model number 39 from season 3, episode 9 of Picard, which was the restored Enterprise D. You can see the stand here, right? And you can see the two autographs. So I got it autographed by Terry Metalis as the showrunner and LeVar Burton as Geordi at GalaxyCon Raleigh. That was July 29th and 30th. And you can see the model here. So what I did is I went on Trek Yards and they did a whole review of the ship and how it looks. So I did the scoring on the front end, leading edge of the saucer. I had done some light earth brown on the front of the saucer to simulate all the dirt that landed on it. And then I used my Tamiya paint thinner, thankfully after the Aztec decals were clear coated, to thin it down so it was only a subtle hint of the dirt. You can see some of it on camera there. And I made sure to pick the Aztec decal set that was slightly faded from the 7-ship Enterprise set, because it was also the only one that came with white escape pods. And it was a couple days before I left for Raleigh that I realized, oh wait, I better add the top and bottom phaser decals into the ship. So when I applied clear coat to these blue decals before they were applied to the ship, I found out that it dulled them down to a gray, which is what you saw on screen. And I noticed that someone joined the chat, so I'll just say welcome in the chat itself. Typing on the laptop. There we go. So now you're, as you know, Roman Reigns says, acknowledge me. Well, I just acknowledged your presence, so thank you. And feel free to say something in the chat if you want. Otherwise, we'll move on chronologically. So, model number 4, which is the first one after a friend taught me how to spray paint that I learned how to spray paint. Sip of water. All right, so here we go. And this is one of the models you saw in the thumbnail for the live stream, actually. This is the 1000 scale second pilot Enterprise with, I did the gold Botany Bay because it had been more than 50 years since you'd seen it. So here we go. So I took a few liberties with the model myself because it was the very first one. So I wasn't trying to go for screen accuracy. I just wanted to see if I could spray paint it, if I could decal it correctly. I did the blue on the impulse hatch cover and faint blue on the leading edge of the neck. You can see that there. The pilot windows, the pilot impulse housing, the bigger deflector dish. Now again, I painted this by hand, so antique copper and silver, and antique gold in the housing because it's the, 50 years since the Enterprise had been on screen. And therefore I did gold on the reactor loops, on the inside of the nacelle, up here. And I learned assemble all the parts all the way even before you apply any primer. You can always paint it from the outside later, which is what I ended up doing. So that was model number 4. Model number 5 is what you see in the thumbnail, well, my profile picture on YouTube. It is the 1000 scale refit Enterprise in 24th century look. So it actually has blue and red in the nacelle grills instead of copper and black. And I gave it some metallic trim. So again, this is not something I did to make it screen accurate. This is something I did just to see if I could build it. And a friend helped me assemble most of it. And what I found out the hard way is that when I used Krylon Chrome because that's what I could find at Walmart, hadn't discovered the Tamiya paints yet. I couldn't see the gray Aztec decals. So what I had to do with the bottom of the saucer is I actually had to paint the Aztec decals while they were still on the sheet, and I left them for a few days, and then I applied them to the ship, and you get these subtle colors of Aztecs. I used folk art metallics for that, like champagne gold, ice metallic blue, and I think it was a pearl white. And I made most of the windows white, as you can see on the edge of the saucer. See? White windows. And on the neck, Now I'm going to make those Arboretum ones a lighter blue. And you can see how it has it's almost a greenish mix, so it's almost like the 24th century. And there is the back phasers and the impulse crystal and everything. So even after, I mean, I built this almost 6 years ago, and it still gleams in the light. So that's kind of nice. So that's model number 5. So forgive me, I'm going to have to go back to the computer again and remember what model number 6 is. It's been a while. And don't mind any background noise. They're busy plowing the apartment parking lot. Model number 6. Here we go. The Enterprise C, 2500 scale. Okay. Now this is the first model that I built all by myself. It only had a few parts, so it was able to be assembled within half an hour. I did the Krylon chrome painting by myself, and this time I didn't mess it up. You see? From yesterday's Enterprise. And there is the ship. So it took a couple years to get the ship right. I mean, I assembled it. I gave it the metallic trim again. It has the Krylon chrome, but it's actually been flap coated. That's why it's somewhat dull. And then I used the Martha Stewart pearl paints, which I still have, to do alternating pearlescent colors on the panels, at least going into a certain point. You can see that here. And I also did the same on the bottom. Now only on the outer flat ring, and you can see I tried with brighter paints, but I narrowed it down to just the 2. Those are escape pod decals. That's like a Krylon, a Stadler marker that did the inner rings. Those are some of the original kit escape pods. Most of those decals fragmented, so I was forced to go to Federation models and find other ones that actually work better, like around the top of the bridge, on the top of the nacelles. So I'd made a mistake. I'd put the blue ones on first, but only on the end. So what I did is I decided to make it deliberate, put the blue ones on either end, and put the aqua in the middle. Alright, so that is model number 6. The 2500 scale Enterprise C. Now I still have one in the 7-ship Enterprise set, so don't have to worry too much. My 1400 scale Enterprise D keeps losing the cell stripes, but I don't think that's model number 7. Let's see. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. I'm going to need a bit more room for this one. And one moment. It's about 19 inches long. It's quite large. Let me see if I can move the laptop just a bit and bring the ship closer. No, not like that evil creature in Star Trek V wanted to bring the ship closer. Ooh, another person joined the chat. I'll acknowledge you again. Thank you very much. That's 3 watching. That's good. And I'm going to ask if there's anything anyone wants to see. And ask the question, what would you like to talk about in this live stream? Models you've built? Any upcoming models you are excited about? Excited about in 2024? There, that's just 200 for the chat. There you go. Let's see what we get. All right, so I'll detach the saucer first. I made sure to keep this thing saucer separated because the entire assembled saucer section of the Enterprise D can fit into its own box. Now what I did is I kind of made the escape pods show up more by putting Inca Gold down first. I cut around the Aztec decals so that they would fit. So it doesn't look like any of the phaser decals came off the ship. So it must have been another one of those nacelle stripes. And yet, if I look at the ship on the stand, I mean, the top one's fine, the bottom one's fine. Inner ones are fine on the port nacelle. Inner ones are fine on the starboard nacelle. And the starboard nacelle ones are both intact, so are the port ones. So I don't know, where that stripe keeps coming from. But again, what I did, it's covered up by the saucer, but I made the docking hatches metallic. That's the original color of the escape pods without any Inca Gold under them. That's the actual phaser decal, which so far has held after all these years. Inca Gold on the those hatches. I used the actual Aztec decal set that came with it. And I had found the shuttle bay door covers. I mean, number 2 went missing, and I painted all the windows that are black. They come with the windows already as part of the Aztec decals. And you can see the deflector dish here and the bottom. Now, what I actually had to do on the fantail, I should have cut the decal into 3 sections. I only cut it into 2, so it fragmented and it folded on itself. So I just substituted ice metallic blue in certain spots and some metallic trim. So that is model number 7. And I do remember what model number 8 is. That's Voyager. But might as well take a little bit of a break from the model display right now, and I will show you some more of the shelving. So let's see here. Let's go down to the second level. So you have the first level of the shelving here. You know, the Enterprise. I have 3 versions of the Enterprise and EXO-1. So one of them's from 05, one of them's from 08. There's the newest one. The one's from Revell, Germany. I also ordered from Revell, Germany this one, the Into Darkness Enterprise, which you saw on the unboxing video last week. I have the newer Reliant. I have the newer Enterprise. I have the Smoothie motion picture refit. I have the 20th anniversary Star Trek IV motion picture refit. And I won this at a raffle at the model contest last November. That is the old Vulcan shuttle. Again, original from 1979, so AMT and Matchbox. The 1000 scale Discovery Enterprise. They're going to do a Strange New Worlds version soon. And then some mid-90s model kits here. Yeah, so that was the second shelf. We take a look at the third shelf. You've got the Kelvin right up there. You've got the new Bird of Prey. You've got the 2500 scale set. Now, I've already done 2500 scale Enterprise A, so this could be done as the refit. There's the Discovery Enterprise. The spaceship set from 1983. The Grissom in 350 scale. DS9, that's what I got last Christmas. And the Rio Grande and the Romulan Warbird. This is one of the 50th anniversary Star Trek kits. As you can see here, it's the F-104 Starfighter. And it comes as a bonus Enterprise kit. I'm not sure exactly which scale that is. There's the newer Enterprise C, so I can build it as a pristine edition. There's the newer NX, and I am going to build it as the NX Excelsior. I've already built the NCC, and then a couple 1,000 scale kits. And underneath, you have enough 1,000 scale that screen accurately you can build the Refit and the Enterprise A. Because I'm building a newer one from the Wrath of Khan set as the Wrath of Khan Enterprise. And I happen to have those Wrath of Khan decals right here, see? Got them when they were produced. And you have also 1,000 scale Aztec decals from A Creation models, so they're actually colored. You see? So then you can start, I can color them. Let me see, what did I say? Which side is going to be which? I don't know which one I'm going to do the red and which one I'm going to do the green, but you can see the guide here and how I'm going to substitute all the TMP green instead of using 20 and 21. Because you see how harsh and stark they are? Well, I have a set that has more subtle colors, more accurate colors. I get all these off of Federation models. And as far as the 1,000 scale Discovery Enterprise, I have both the issued set, and I have the PDF file online for the corrections, and I have the GCal set, which is much more subtle refit pattern. Okay, so that was model number 7. So let's get back to model number 8. Be right back. Just got to put this ship back on its star drive. But while you're looking, yeah. There. Alright, I'm coming. Here we go. Model number 8. Yeah. Turn the phone back. Okay, model number 8. Oops, almost fell out of my chair. Sorry about that. Model number 8. Here we go. USS Voyager in 677 scale, built from the old monogram kit. Again, that was the last of my Krylon Chrome starships. And wherever any black paint dribbled, I just made it look like phaser decal damage. And I painted all the windows white. I used some metallics for the phasers. It still has the variable geometry warp nacelles. And I did use some from GCals. And now that I have the Revell guide, I can touch up these side hatches here with the appropriate colors, you know, like I did with the front. You can see these soft metallic colors. Well, actually, they're the harsher metallic, like ruby red, blue sapphire. I think there's a little antique gold and copper in there. And then I did the Inca gold underneath the escape pods again. And I, let's see here. You can see the original color of the escape pod without the Inca gold on it. And there's the bottom of the ship. So what I did is I did something a little different with the deflector dish, because it's the 25th anniversary Voyager. It's probably at the dawn, close to the dawn of the 25th century, so I did the blue in there. And the stripes are on there. You can see the phaser. So it actually has copper or bronze inside the phaser, antique gold outside. And there's the landing leg ports. It's interesting because those parts are actually slightly raised, and there are somehow attachments that you can use to put in the landing legs. Oh, and there you go. There's the soft metallics again for the underneath. And you'll see in the later Voyager how I actually did that deliberately for another ship. So that was model number 8. So now we'll take a look at model number 9, and I'll have to check Dropbox again. It's been a few years to make sure I remember. Give me one moment. Model number 9. Oh, Herbie. Okay. What we might as well do is go out to the living room briefly so I can cover the cars. So, I'll unplug the phone. Come with me. We'll get out to the living room and we'll see what we can look at here. So model number 9 was the 1982 Herbie. You can see that here now. I take it out carefully because it's detached from its chassis. I actually had to adapt it from a 32 scale Volkswagen kit. And I found decals on mycustomhotwheels.com. And I gave it the white wheels, just like in 1982. I gave it the blue stripe. They actually came in the proper blue, you know, the medium blue, but I had to make it darker blue to make it match. And the sunroof, it didn't come with a sunroof because it wasn't actually Herbie, so I just adapted a properly sized gray sticker. See? There you go. All right, so that was model number 9. Model number 10, version 1 and 2. So version 1 was a 68 version of Herbie, using the old Airfix Herbie kit. Version 2 was the 74 with a bit of sprue tree serving as the fog light. So again, the stripe is darker. Again, it has a sticker for a sunroof. And the black running boards with silver trim and everything. Okay, so we'll get a bit out of order in the models, but have the car from Knight Rider. That's a model I completed in 2020. You can see it here. It's one window, consistently refuses to stay glued in. But when the paint job screwed up, I had to make the bottom turn it into car. You can see the license plate here, how I approximated car on the license plate. But I've since found a better way of doing that. Of course, I'm not going to show it on this live stream because I don't want to spoil the Christmas surprise. So I got to keep an eye on what's showing up on camera. Here's the Miami Vice Daytona Spider. You saw that just before the Kelvin, I think. See? There you go. There's the license plate. I used silver Sharpie to do the gauges. Here's model 35, which is the 1997 Herbie from Herbie the Love Bug. You can see that there. Now, what I had to do, let's see. Again, a decal. Just the stickers. I used the stickers from the 68 kit because they were a bit more easier to work with. And you see how thin the red is? There's the sunroof. Now at first, I'd only had enough of the sticker to go in front of the sunroof and behind it, but then it started sliding around. So I had to actually detach the sunroof and put the entire sticker down, and then put the sunroof down on it. And of course, I made the number higher up on the hood, like it was in 97. I gave it the one mirror only. Still have to fill in that mirror hole. And gave it the plain chrome. So I think it worked quite well. And the windshield went in, thankfully, without getting fogged up. So that's good. And then the last model car on the top shelf is Brian's Eclipse from Fast and Furious. You can see that here. There you go, see? And you can see the beautiful yellow gold on the car itself. And all the decals. Now the hood decal pretty well got down without any wrinkles. Okay. Oh, good to see you back. Okay. Give me a moment here. I'm going to prop the phone up. I have to do this carefully because I don't want the shelf to get wrecked. So We're going to find out together if this works or not. Give me one moment. I'm going to move these Star Wars figures out of the way to move the shelf without everything falling over. Let's see how this goes. Well, it tried to work. Didn't quite work. So I'm going to put these down from the beginning. And when I get to 300 subscribers on Sean's Toy Room, that's when we'll go over the toy collection. And these are all the little bags that I keep the accessories in. That's quite on Jim's comment. So might as well put the Terminator figures down as well. And get at the model car shelf. I had to spill out into the living room because there were too many models to fit in the model building room anymore. Okay, here we go. So, move closely. I'm going to see if I can turn on the light and get a better view of this. Let's see. Yeah, that might do something. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, here we go. So, first one, and it has its little tag, the Mark I DeLorean, 1985. I bought all 4 kits. So here we go. Here's the car. All right. Better this way. There's the car. And there's the lightning rod on the right side, just like in the movie. I made those brighter. I went in and did all the detailing. You see the out-of-time license plate and everything. And the fine black paint around everything. Okay, so that's number 1 of the DeLorean. The second one is the one that flies. You can see that one here. See? And I made sure that I painted white inside. And of course it has Mr. Fusion and everything else. So that's number 2. Number 3 is the, now this is what I did in early 22. Here you go, number 3, the 1950s DeLorean with the time circuitry tray and the white wall tires and everything. And it's dusty now, but that's good, that's natural dust. And then number 4 is the train tracks DeLorean. So here's the train tracks. Had to go through quite a number of painting things to make them look accurate. And then the wheels. See? The train wheels, the time circuitry tray. Now I know the windows got a bit glue smudged in that time. But I did what I could. Alright, so I'm going to put everything back on the shelf here. See if I can get the wheels aligned. There you go. Okay, so back in the toy room. I mean the model building room we go. And it's probably better to show you what did I get done since November of 22. Well, not that much actually. I only got done working on model number 38 and 37. So 37 is the landing legs Voyager, which I'm still not quite done, but I did enough to get it ready for the model train show in June. Here's the landing legs Voyager. See? And the landing legs went in well, and I was able to test it, so they went in nicely. And of course I did a bit of metallic accent, but no Inca gold underneath the escape pods. It is the Tamiya Light Ghost Gray. And you can see the front here with the colored. And the windows. I used the Revell guide to alternate the windows, figuring not all the windows would be lit up all the time. And whenever a white window bank was, lost, I substituted the black one. So that's the landing legs Voyager. Again, I had to glue in. I glued in the pylons because they kept going down instead of up. So I glued them in place, figuring that when it's landed, it doesn't have the variable geometry of warp nacelles. And as far as what I have been working on and trying to finish over the last, actually started this one in March, Voyager on the Stand. And it does, I kept its warp nacelles moving. Now the subtle changes are, I gave it darker phasers. All the windows are painted white. And there's not any pearlescent Aztecs on these ribs. And I didn't manage not to lose any escape pods. I didn't have to substitute any on this one. And I will probably do all the little phaser dashes like I did on the other one. There's the bottom. And you can see how I used the copper and I used the blue to make the... I wanted to make this look as accurate to the show as I could. And I was hoping that Kate Mulgrew would be at GalaxyCon Raleigh, but she had to cancel because of the SAG strike. So I got Bret the Hitman Hart instead, and that was my mother's birthday present. The Bret Hart poster autographed to her. And you can see how I used a dark ghost gray on the detail panels. I still did a bit of iridescent coloring here. But you can see how when you don't have the landing legs in place, you can fit those decals directly over them. Over where they would have been. So it's almost done. I've been working on the side saucer. You probably saw that on this week's video that I posted just last night. So there's the hatch. There's these little ones. And the trench decals went in quite well this time. Nothing got lost because I used the Microsol and Microset. So primarily Microsol. So that was model number 38. It's not quite done yet, but it's pretty close. Just fiddly little decals now, which is what I work on at the Hobby Club meeting. You can see the remaining decals in here. Now, of course, as you saw in the video, don't have to do the tiniest ones because I have actually the Staedtler marker set. So when you have little red dot decals, you can just use a red marker. When you have the black decals, you can use the black marker. And it looks just like a decal's been applied, so that works out quite well. All right, and model number 40. All right, so model 40 is probably going to be the Christmas surprise for my mom. But I've never given a hint as to what it is, so. But model number 41 is going to be the RoboCop Robo-Cruiser police car, autographed to me by Peter Weller. And you can see, well, there's not much on the back, but see, there are some details of the car itself, see? And you can see the autograph. Now, let me see if I can get a good view of the computer screen here. And maybe we can get something from GalaxyCon Raleigh. I've been sorting the special events by, oh, GalaxyCon Raleigh. Now it's probably in model number 40, which is the RoboCop Cruiser. So let's just see here, model number 40. All right. So, here you go. Model number, all right, let's see if this is the one. No, okay, going back. That's a little video. Oh, there we are. Me and Peter Weller with me holding the autographed model. So there we are. And he made sure that he stood in view of his name. All right, so that's good. And that is, see, he moved a bit so you can see more of his name. And of course, I unboxed the video. I stood my RoboCop figure next to it. And he gave me permission to use it for the thumbnail of the video, so you probably saw the RoboCop unboxing already. Okay, you see what happens when the computer gets full. So I'm going to back out of this now because you don't want to spoil the surprise of what model number 41 is going to be. But as far as model number 42, model number 42, sometime next year in 2024, is going to be the Wrath of Khan 1000 scale refit Enterprise, because it's been 42 years since that ship was on screen for the first time. And what I did All right, one moment here. You have the decals that come with the kit, yes, but I always order extras because I wanted the gray piping, the gray accent panels. See, the gray accent panels that come with the Enterprise in Star Trek II. And of course, there are the sensor bands, etc. But you see, if you take a look at the decals that come with the kit, there is almost the same gray. It's only a little darker than what is on the ship. So that's what I'm going to use. And only some of the damaged decals will be used. This is an extra set from Star Trek Federation models, by the way. So let's put them back in the bag. And we'll take a closer look at that kit. Why not? Right. I always put everything in Ziploc bags when I can. So it's probably laid out almost exactly like the, see? Like it was before. What I found is it's always best to assemble the nacelles to the struts first to make sure they're on their level. And you can see how well constructed in step number 4 the nacelles are, struts are to the ship. And a posable stand. Alright, so that's the guide of that. That's just a brief overview. You already saw the Aztec decals earlier on in the slide. Well, actually, you just saw the container. Let's see if I can take a closer look at the Aztec decals, because that's what really brings the ship to life. Oh, and on the side of the box, these are where all the decal instructions are now. It makes you keep the box, makes you keep the parts. That's good. Very good. All right, even shows you where to apply the damage decal, so that's even better. All right. So the Aztec decals that come with this kit, they should be right in here. They're all on blue back paper, which is great because that really helps. Now, also, just in case they failed, you know, you have multiple backup sets. Also got a few sets from A Creation Models. Because you never know, right? You never know if something's going to fail. So, here's the A Creation Models one. Okay, so the Aztec decal set for the Wrath of Khan Enterprise. And you can see it also has it for the Reliant itself. So it's a twofer. I think it was $40. But these decal instructions are laid out exactly like they were on the 2009 version. That's the first Enterprise I built. You could see it over there. You saw it earlier in the live stream. Each one is individually numbered. And because I'm going to use, I'll use a pearl white hull on top of a white primer, just like in the refit. But once the decals are down, I am going to flat coat it so it looks dull like it did in Wrath of Khan. Now, let's see what else we've got here. 2022, I think these were. Here we go. Step 2. That should be the bottom saucer. See, I haven't got these decals out much, or the instructions. Alright, step 2, saucer. There you go. Bottom saucer. Now remember, you're probably going to want to put on the pinstripe before you put on the Aztec decal, or maybe it goes on top, right around the neck opening. And you can see here the secondary hull. And you see how it has that more detailed and less rectangular pattern? So you know it's from Star Trek II and not the motion picture. The motion picture had a more random pattern in it. There you go. All right, and then, here we go. Port and starboard neck. Nacelle halves, like strut halves. The actual nacelles themselves, so there and there. And that should be all for the Enterprise. So the next section of decals should be for the Reliant itself. Here we go, see? That's almost I think it's a bit bigger than life size, but it's pretty close, pretty accurate. You open up the page and you see the rest. So there is the bottom, and there are all the other sections of just the Reliant itself, the weapons pods and everything. So that's quite something. Okay, that's good. So that is those ones, and then of course they come on a blue sheet. But you can see how you can do Wrath of Khan in white, or you can do Wrath of Khan in Inca Gold, and they have all the they're all raised edges, so you know where to cut them out. So that's quite good. And this one, if you wanted to make up the numbers and turn it into any other ship, you could. Now they're always numbered, so R for Reliant, and then E for Enterprise. You can see the secondary hull at the bottom, and in the cell struts and everything. And the final one is pretty well just Enterprise. Enterprise saucer, top and bottom. Okay. So that is the new set. Now, I don't know how old the A Creation models set is, but see, I said right on the top, use as backup for the gray trim of the Enterprise refit. Now they're not raised, but at least they have the specific sections. You could even use the A if you want. I would save those for later. So they have the RCS thrusters, they have the phasers, they have the docking ports, they have underneath the secondary hull pinstripes, everything. And they're each individually numbered. Here you go. If you don't want to have to color in the nacelle struts, they have them by hand, lit and unlit. So I'll be sure to use the Tester's decal bonder spray on the sheet before I even apply it. There's the nacelles, and you see what you mean with the gray trim? See, gray trim. And you'll really tell on the third sheet, you can see the gray trim for the strong backs in front of the deflector housing and the saucer section and everything. Oh, look, they even integrated windows into those. So that's quite wonderful. That's quite good. All right, so I got to put those away. And let's see, model number 43. Well, I figure you might as well take a look at the Reliant kit because that's the one you do next. Now, this one from A Creation Models, which is colored, that's what I'm going to use for the refit, so not the Wrath of Khan Enterprise at all. So let's take a look at the Reliant kit now. We're coming up on, almost an hour. That's good. Well, at least there's 3 of us here. Well, there's the Reliant. And again, the side of the box, so it shows what it looks like on the stand. It shows all the damage decals that come with it. Side view, back view. Okay, and these came out in, I believe they came out in 2022 to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Wrath of Khan. And again, the outer part of the box, well, the inners, see, there you go. And you could really go crazy with all the damage decals everywhere. Shuttle bay, the bottom of the ship. It even gives color suggestions. So I never built a Miranda class before. So there's the instructions on how to build it. And then the back side, showing how to put the sub-assemblies together until you get a completed ship. Now, it'd be neat if it would fit on its nacelles straight and level. Might not have to use the stand, you never know. Yeah, there's some damaged decals left over. I had to cover something up, I think. So I made sure to use damaged decals that were not necessary, because it only accounts for some of them. But you can see the blue rings, where the shuttle bay goes, the striping, the phasers, the registry. There's the name. There's the name. They even have Windows. No, not Windows. Oh yeah, they do. Look, Windows. So that's good. And you see it's a kind of aqua. Almost like the Enterprise B for its Windows stripes. And then now it comes right away with a white stand. There's the clear parts. I think I've already done an unboxing of both of these, but just a brief overview. White parts, top and bottom. And this is the rest of all the pieces. It's kind of wedged into the box. I won't take it out from now. All right, everything back in. There we go. There we go. Back in the box. And I'll put it back on the shelf. So that's we're up to model number 43. So those are plans for the new year. Because remember, I already finished model number 40, the Christmas surprise. So I don't have to film anything for it. I just have to release it week by week, and that'll give me time as I work on the RoboCop model car, model number 41. I know it hasn't been 41 years yet, but not all the numbers will be significant. I'll try. And you know, that gives me an idea. When I get to model number 53, that'll have to be the Polar Lights Herbie. And I haven't shown you the cabinet. There might be something new in the cabinet that I've picked up over the last year. So let's unplug the phone again, up to an hour now, and take a look at the cabinet. I'll put you on the chair. Oh. There you go. Got to move a few things so I can actually get into the cabinet. Mostly just move the shredding box out of the way. But if I didn't have these boxes of shredding, I wouldn't have anything to set these things on. Alright, TNG posters moved. Opening up the cabinet. Shift this box over here so I can open up everything fully. And we'll see if there's anything in the cabinet you haven't seen before. So, 60s Batmobile kit, not original. This is original. That is original. These are new. That is somewhat newer. There's the original Herbie model kit that I'm going to build as number 53, the 68 Herbie. That's the original issue of Robin's Redbird. There's Ecto 1. And I do have Ecto 1A from AMT. See, here we go. As well. That's on the model car shelf. What else we got here? Austin Powers Roadster, original issue, and Christine. And then the skill level 5 and 4 kits are down here. So Fast and Furious, Grease Lightning, Smokey and the Bandit, Starsky and Hutch, Miami Vice, Testarossa, which I believe I have a Hot Wheels car of, and the Honda Civic, which I'm going to do with blue pearl paint, kind of like mine is. So that's the model car cabinet, mostly, the fictional cabinet. Yeah, put you back up on the desk, the model workbench, and put everything back where it was. All right, there we go. Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. What else? Oh, the NX-01. We'll go back to alphabetical modeling, eh? I mean, numerical. Let's see. Anyone said anything in the chat yet? No. Just me. Okay. All right. So let's see here. We left off at model number 8, I think. No, it's 10. Oh, right, car. Okay, you got that. Oh, yes. You've seen this space shuttle. Oh, model number 12. Okay. Well, let's go back in the living room again. Because model number 12 is actually out there. And careful, all the figures on the floor. I'll move everything after live stream is over. There you go. model number 12. The 537 scale Enterprise A, held up by a Construx base on the saucer and resting on a Construx piece on the secondary hull. It's not quite done yet, but there it is. There's the warp nacelles with the Martha Stewart pearl paint, so it's very subtle. Blue trim along here. Not sure if it's movie accurate, but this was more of a proof of concept model as well. Could I actually build the thing? And as you can see, I can. What I did is I filled in with cardboard the nacelle stripes inside the secondary hull and the inside of the neck, so the ship would stay together. But I realized there's too much weight on this joint here, so I had to putty it down. But if you have the shuttle bay resting on, the saucer resting on something, it'll also help. There's the iridescent colors on the shuttle bay. There's my original 1993 shuttle. It's out of scale, but it's the only one that actually had the top pieces. You can see how the one that came with the ship is actually missing its top pieces. And here's a shuttle from the 350 scale. It does actually fit in there. Let's see if I can prove it on camera here. So it does fit in the bay, sideways. Should be able to get the door closed again. Mostly. See, it's still a little too big. It's still a little too big, so that doesn't quite work as it should. So I think there's actual properly scaled 537 shuttles that I got from Federation models that will work, but at least you can see the iridescent colors on the shuttle bay there. And I'm having to keep the camera safe from showing the Christmas surprise. Oh, and look, that's probably what got me interested in models too. I mean, the Micro Machines, so original series Micro Machines, original series movies in chronological order: Reliant, Bird of Prey, Excelsior, Star Trek VI, Excelsior, and then the next gens, the Romulan Warbird, Borg Cube, which sits a lot better without its stand, and the Vorcha class attack cruiser. And then here's what I got in cereal boxes in the mid-90s. You just had to attach the stickers from Star Trek Into Darkness. No, Star Trek Beyond, actually. That's Star Trek Into Darkness. That's Star Trek 2009. And now we go back into the model room and continue. Now, we can skip past all the model cars because you already saw those. So let's just see what we've got next. Model number 16. Because you already saw the space shuttle. Oh, 16, the Millennium Falcon. Right. Now let me move Chewie. Let me move the Super Star Destroyer. Here we go. There you go. There. A Millennium Falcon with only 3 legs. But you can see how the ramp works and the gun works and everything. And I think, let me plug this in again. There you go. Okay. And I think if you look in the cockpit, there is, I put in the Han and Chewie figures. They're in the cockpit there. You can see them sitting in there. Yeah. And the Top Gun moves back and forth. But you don't want it to be pointing forward because then it's firing into part of the ship. You want it like that. Oh, get that cobweb off the... See? You want it like that. Alright, so that is the Falcon. Good. And it fits perfectly on its landing legs. So I'm going to make every single Falcon sit on its landing legs. Ooh, the Star Destroyer. Right. 4,000 scale, correct? Okay, so Chewie goes over here. Super Star Destroyer goes over here. Here we go. Ease this out of its way. Excellent. There we go. Yeah, there we are. Okay. We'll put the Excelsior away. We'll get to it later. Once we get up to Model 31. We're getting there. I'll try to cover the remaining models that I've built during the rest of this live stream. So this is Model 16. So here we go. I think it's 4,000 scale. Now, the electronics used to work. I guess you'd have to go into the screwdriver there and let's see if you hear anything. Very faintly. I did color the engines blue, the auxiliary engines. You can see how there's a bit of a leftover from the Krylon Chrome. Again, 2019, 2018 was my Krylon Chrome phase. But I went over it again with white primer, light gray hull, and then Martha Stewart pearl paints again on the hull itself. And some of these guns work like they rotate and everything. So that's the Star Destroyer. Okay. Oh, careful. It took quite a bit of finagling to find ways that all the models could actually fit onto the shelves, but I think I found a way. Carefully. And the discovered ones we'll get to as well. Okay, so. Yeah, that's better. You can see it over my shoulder while I'm working. All right, so what's next? Model number 17, Millennium Falcon. You already saw that. Oh, the Titanic. Okay. That was a Christmas gift to my mom in Christmas of 2019. I believe it was 2019, yes. So, we're just going to have to look at the pictures and try to get down to the most recent picture. So let's see here. There you go. That was taken Christmas of 2020. There it is on the shelf at my parents' house behind the plant. So you can see I white star buff on the funnels. I colored in the portholes with a toothpick and wiped off a bit. So some of them show up bright, some of them don't. Don't worry, I turned that flag around later. Had to actually fix one of those masts because it broke off, but it seemed like I got it aligned quite well, so it didn't fail. Let's see here. There it is, Christmas Day when I gave it to them. Yeah, maybe not Christmas Day. That's it, brightened up. Ah, there it is, Christmas of 19, just after I gave it to her. You can see the Christmas cards. All right, so that was model number 18. Okay, so model number 19, Mark III DeLorean. Ooh. Forgive me, I'm not exactly sure where the small Death Star and ISD-2 are, 20 and 21. You've seen model 22, the Miami Vice car. Ooh, another person in the chat. We're up to 4 now. Thank you. Welcome to the 4th person watching this live. There we go. All right. So feel free to write down anything if you want. All right. So let's see. We've done the cars. Oh, my Magnum PI Ferrari. Another car I didn't have in person now, but I have pictures of it. So let's see if we can find Christmas of... That was Christmas of 20. Yes, it was. So... Ah, there you go. There's a good picture of it. See? In front of the box it came with. Now I had to carefully watch a YouTube video and learn how to cut the roof off properly and smoothly. Yeah, there you go. And I had to substitute, I think it was this one, the decal flaked, the only one that did. So I had to use the Inca Gold and approximate the size, the little cat figure. All right, so that's quite good there. So that was model number... Ooh, 2 likes. All right, I'm going to acknowledge that too. Thank you for the 2nd like on this live stream. I can see it on the phone, you see. All right, so what is the next model that I built? That would be number 25, which is the... Oh yes, the Plymouth Roadrunner. Another Christmas gift for my dad this time. So let's go. All right, here we go. Beauty shots. Again, computer screen helps. There you go, see? And you can tell it was built in 2020 because you can see the calendar. Sideways. Back. Yes, I used his first name and his date of birth as the license plate. Customized to Ontario colors, of course. I couldn't get the hood on, not with the higher engine part in the way, so I left it detachable. There's the front. You can see the engine. There's the box. Okay, so that is that. All right, so that was model number 25. Model number 26. Oh, 2500 scale 3-ship Enterprise set. Okay, I do have those. I started working on those in December of 20, actually, after I'd finished the Roadrunner mostly. So here's the TOS Enterprise 2500 scale. I used Royal Light Gray, although compared to Voyager, you're going to see how much more brownish gray it looks. Now remember, it's not the same scale. If you want a comparison between the 1000 scale Voyager and the 1000 scale TOS Enterprise, this is more accurate. See? That's how the TOS Enterprise looks next to Voyager. You can see how Voyager has a lot more room in it. All right, so that... Okay, let me put Voyager away and we'll focus on those 3 ships. All right, so you got the TOS Enterprise. They don't sell accessory parts to make the small one into the pilot, so I built it as a production version. First time as the production version. It came with a mix of white and dark windows. Use the metallic color for the end of the cells. Didn't quite get the windows done, but I tried to do a good red. Now, the Enterprise A, it did come with 2500 scale blue panels, as you can see here from Federation Models and other sites. And I tried to paint it accurately, so a white base color for the hull, as you can see. Just the gray Aztec, so there's a good experiment for how it will look when I do the 1000 scale. And I think the nacelles got on pretty straight, so that's quite good. It's amazing. These nacelles fit on really straight, so to the 1000 scale. 350's designed to do it. There's the deflector now. Yeah, I know. See, it split. Just not wide enough for it to stand without the things separating. That's kind of depressing. And you look at the bottom of the saucer, you can kind of see the imprint from the copyright date on the inside. So I'll make sure to prime the inside again. Now the Enterprise B, you can see how much bigger it is. See how much bigger it is in the Enterprise. And I did this as a 24th century version because some of these decals were kind of blue. So I use all the blue decals in the secondary hull and the saucer, including the striping and the panels on the bottom, which means I colored the docking hatches blue manually, and the ring. Yeah, all right. And you can see 24th century version is written on the stand. So that's model number 26. So now we get into the Discovery Starship. That's models number 27 through 30 because I added in the Super Star Destroyer. Okay, so the 3 Discovery ships. We started with the Shenzhou from the first season. You can see it here. Now, when I was away, I didn't have access to a lot of paint, so thankfully it had wallpaper decals, and that's what I applied to the ship all the way along. Even did some purple and black in there. You can see the name, you can see the registry. I had to... One of the clear pieces fell out, so I had to substitute the red paint. But you can see how detailed the windows are and everything. Everything fit together well. And I believe it poses on its stand. Yeah, it does. Good. Okay, so there's the Shenzhou. I even managed to get the clear parts colored before I put them in place. So it's kind of a bit of a bright red. Then we have the Discovery itself. Now, I built it as the ISS Discovery for the Mirror Universe. Trial run, you see. And since it has a tendency to come off its stand, all right, here we go. See? If you look closely, you'll see the registry. Well, the name will say ISS Discovery, and that's why there is red on those 4 spokes windows. And there you can see the nacelle. So it's a nice brown. The nacelles are quite long. And there you can see the silver ring built into it. There's the bottom. ISS Discovery is more clearly visible on the bottom, right there. Now, let's take, remember that blue? Now, we're going to compare that blue to the blue for the Discovery Enterprise. It's subtly different. This is more of a teal blue. Discovery Enterprise, Anson Mount's ship, is more like a baby blue. You can see that there. And again, the nacelles. I had to do some mixing and matching on the nacelles for the Aztecs to get it to work properly. Yeah, that's a good view of the ship. All right, and it has a tendency to be much more posable than the other ships. But then again, the Enterprise lends itself to good angles. So that brings you up to model number 30, which is the million scale Superstar Destroyer, which is here it is. All right, and I did it. It's very posable. I did it as a Superstar Destroyer from my 6th Star Wars comic series. Now the bottom I hand painted. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, take that up what you will. I'll fix it later. The top spray painted, and you see with the tiniest toothpick I started even doing the windows, the blue city lights, and you can see all the little dots on here are all the weapons emplacements. So it went together quite well, and I did all the engines, so a mix of red and some orange on all those engines. Oh, 4th person joined the chat again. Welcome. All right, so that takes us up to model number 30. So now we're just model 31. Model 31. See, I'm remembering now. It is the NCC Captain Sulu Excelsior. Oh, don't mind that. That was the, I left the shuttle bay loose because I couldn't get it glued down. And you can see how it has some soft pearl colors on the shuttle bay. And I left it loose also because you want to be able to see the shuttle bay detail. Red and blue navigation lights. And whenever the decal didn't cover completely, like at the front of the nacelle struts, I filled in with Deco Art Desert Turquoise, which turned out to be the closest match I could find to the trim. Yes. And what I found with the side striping, I cut the side striping into sections. I cut it just before it arcs and goes straight, so I could fit it on in 2 sections at the front, just like that. And I used the Deco Art Desert Turquoise up there. I painted the phasers. I painted the hatches because the decal hatches were slightly misaligned. So I had to cut them out and paint them by hand. And the deflector dish, I realized belatedly, it had spokes in it, so I didn't have to color the part with the spokes itself. And this is the first ship I did the cardboard on because this nacelle assembly fell off. Thankfully, it held together long enough for George Takei to autograph it as Captain Sulu, as you can see here. And there's the sticker. So he liked that. That was Fan Expo Toronto, October 2021. So that was Model 31. We're almost caught up, which is good timing because we're almost done this 90-minute live stream anyway. Model 32, I remember. NX01 refit in 1000 scale, built from the, I think it's a 2009 Enterprise NX01 model kit. Of course, this copy I have, that's going to be built as Columbia, so it's going to get a slightly different hull color, a bit more silver than it is gold. This one was painted with the same TS81 Polar Lights Royal Light Gray as the 2500 scale Enterprise was, but I added decals from GCals for the NX01. Yeah, so you can see, and I painted all the windows beforehand. The decals came with the red stripes already. And there's the deflector dish, the copper and the blue. I had to paint those parts by spray paint, so the blue's a bit darker than this. You can see how it has that. And if you look close on both sides of the saucer, it says SS Enterprise right in there. Now, remember, its instructions said don't make it a dull copper or gold for the bridge dome, so I didn't. And there's the back view with the impulse engines lit up. Now, I had the idea, what if the saucer rudimentary separation, saucer's impulse engine, see? And there's the shuttle bay and the warp core and the secondary hull deflector dish. So I painted it almost the same color as the Enterprise. Okay, so that's number 32. Number 33 is the 1400 scale Starcraft Enterprise B. Now this one didn't require too much cardboard, just the white card. Actually, Elmer's clear glue is what I used to secure most things, and it miraculously worked. All right, so there you go. Now, when I first noticed the trim, it was almost a robin's egg blue. So I had to color the rest of the trim to match it. And actually, I masked off those stripes myself. I wanted to try masking for the first time, although it was a manual paint, not a hand paint. You can see the back here. Again, I filled in where the decal didn't cover on the nacelle struts with the same robin's egg blue and everything. I tried to prop up the nacelle struts with a bit of cardboard while the glue was setting. It worked on this side. This side kind of fell down a bit, so if you look at the front of the ship, it's not quite as even as it could be. And I did gunmetal gray on the neck, lighter one. Yeah, and the deflector dish. You can see the deflector dish is a nice blue in there. And again, I painted the stripe by hand, didn't have to worry about the decals. And there's the hatches. And I added some random Aztec patterns, but I made them match on either side for the impulse housing. Figured it'd be a good idea at the time. And it has the 2 impulse crystals, just like the NCC Excelsior. All right, so we've done model, that's 34, was the DeLorean. Mark IV DeLorean from Back to the Future 3, so 34. 35 was Herbie, the 1997 Herbie, you saw that. 36 is the last model to cover, and that is the 1000 scale Defiant post-war refit, which is why I colored all the panels that were gray with blue instead, the triangle panels on the cell housing and everything, and I used the greenish ones from GCals. And of course, what I did is I colored in the phaser bumps on the top, what I thought were phaser bumps, so that it can fire from the top of the hull. I colored in, let's see here, red on the side, but also, so phasers, photon torpedoes, and quantum torpedoes in blue. I figured I'd do that. And of course, blue in there. There's a deflector housing. There's the bottom of the ship. Yeah, there you go. There's the bottom of the ship. See? And I did some iridescent panel coloring in there. And on the back, I realized just in time that you had to sink the impulse engines all the way in so that the protrusions don't proceed beyond there. And of course, phasers at the back, torpedoes, starboard navigation light, port navigation light. Same up there. See? Up and above. So I did the best I could to add as much detail as possible to the ship. And you can see the registry under there. Yeah. And a bit of the old gray, the original gray, but I made those like landing lights or something. And you can see phaser emitters under here as well. See? There. There. Yeah. So, that's good. So over the past 90 minutes, we have covered all the models I've built so far and a few plans for the future. So I guess that's the end of this live stream for now. Thank you for watching. And thank you for helping me celebrate crossing 500 subscribers, although as of today I'm up to 509. So thank you very much. That's 9 subscribers in 1 week. So that's all for now for Sean's model builds. And we'll see you here next time on next week's video. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be yet. And I have to post it on Thursday night because I'm going to the Hobby Club meeting. Well, we'll find out together. See you later. Bye-bye.